Okay, I did not understand why everybody was getting excited about this Jim Lampley thing. I just watched it, and oh my god, he just ripped Al Heyman a new hole in his backside. Wow, Jim Lampley went in. I don't think anyone could have done it better. I couldn't have done it better than the way he destroyed him. He basically just said all the stuff that everyone's been thinking about Al Heyman fighters. Um, it's not the fighters. There is no knock on Keith Thurman. There is no knock on any of the fighters. It's Al Heyman himself. Now, something that Al Heyman's been doing is very simple. Jim Lampley said it, but I don't think Jim Lampley said it like this. Now, what it is with Al Heyman, what he tends to do is he puts big names on a card, names who are built, who have won big fights in the past, and what he's doing is he's putting them against nobodies. Puts them on, and he puts about 2 or 3 of them on the same card, which makes it a big card, so we get to see fighters like Matisse and I don't know who was it? Matisse and Bronner on the same card, and them two should have been fighting each other, but instead Bronner was fighting Emmanuel Taylor and Matisse was fighting Molina. And the thing is that you look at this and you think to yourself, all right, okay, big fighters, yeah, we're getting like 3-4 fighters on the same card. But you actually look at the card and it's like it's the same thing. Like, really, Amir Khan should have been facing Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was Amir Khan versus Collazo, Mayweather versus Maidana. And Jim Lampley is going on about this equation of Al Heyman choosing low risk fights for his fighters, keeping an undefeated record for most of his fighters. I mean, Danny Garcia just fought Rod Salker. Do you guys have any idea how bad that is? I mean, this just defines 2014 boxing, 2013 boxing. It shows like that fighters today are not at the caliber of where they used to be, because the fighters before, to go 128-1 like Ray Robinson, them guys had to do it the hard way. They fought anyone and everyone. Nowadays, the fighters just cherry pick their way around and nobody fights the best. I mean, realistically, let's be honest about this. The fight that should have got made was Keith Thurman versus Amir Khan on the recent card, but it didn't happen, and it was Amir Khan versus Alexander, which, don't get me wrong, was an excellent fight. But Keith Thurman faced... Who the hell did Keith Thurman face? Keith Thurman faced Leonard Bundu, and it's like, what? Why? And, you know, I think it's coming back to this thing that, apart from Floyd Mayweather, nobody else has the power to tell Al Heyman who they want to fight, and I think Al Heyman's just picking the fighters, and he's doing this thing with boxing, which I'm not agreeing with. The best are not fighting the best, and Jim Lampley says this, and I've got to say this outright, right? That I don't agree with Al Heyman and what he's doing. And yeah, he's bringing it on back to mainstream TV and stuff, and which is good for boxing, because that's what boxing needs to get brought back onto the big time, because that's how it used to be before. The only reason boxing has become a small sport, right? I mean, if you get like a footballer, okay, and tell him to do some kick-ups, right, with a football, tell a basketballer to do some basketball moves, and then get 2 fighters to box, right, all on the street, and you see where the crowd gathers. The crowd will gather with the 2 boxers who are boxing. That's what will gather the crowds. So you got to ask yourself the question, why has boxing taken a back seat? And it's because it's not on mainstream television anymore. It's been monetized too much. And now public have strayed away from boxing, and nobody knows what's going on in boxing because nobody gets to see it. I mean, you look at Froch versus Groves and you look how big that got. That was because Froch versus Groves was in the public eye. A lot of people got to see it on Sky Sports. And then eventually, after all the build-up and all the stuff that was on mainstream TV, eventually they got it onto pay-per-view, and that's fine, right? But the thing is that Froch and Groves was built up really well to the mainstream public, and this is what boxing needs right now. It needs to be built to the mainstream public. So let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments in the section below. Al Heyman is doing the right thing in regards to the networks and getting it back onto mainstream, but I think where he's going wrong is the fighters need to fight better opposition. And I think if Al Heyman truly wants to take it back, he needs to take it back properly and let the best fight the best, and let people be accustomed to fighters taking losses. I think that's what Al Heyman needs to do. He needs to allow losses for his fighters. we need to, as fans, get used to the fact that fighters will lose when the best fight the best. If you cherry pick fights, that's the only way you're really going to be undefeated for so many years, and that's the bottom line. I'm just telling you how it is. Leave your comments in the section below, subscribe as always. I really feel all fighters need to fight all different styles. They need to fight the fights that the fans want to see, not telling people to set a poll, right, and fight the fighter that loses the poll. I think that's just like indicative of everything. That summarizes everything. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the section below. Subscribe as always. Tell me what you think of Jim Lampley and the Haymon situation in a bit.